special weather bulletin, extreme pattern, deep cold front, and a developing tropical wave. Good evening, everyone. The United States is bracing for a dramatic and volatile stretch of weather over the next several days. A chain of powerful storm systems is lining up across the country, bringing a mix of dangerous conditions, from severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, and hail, to the season's first major cold blast that could push all the way into the southern states. At the same time, across the Caribbean, a new tropical wave is organizing, showing early signs it could become a tropical system by next week. Together, these events paint a turbulent weather picture, one that meteorologists say could be the most dynamic pattern of October 2025. Let's begin with the severe weather threat set to unfold across the central U.S. this weekend. This system is a powerhouse, stretching from the Rockies through the Mississippi Valley, and carries enormous energy. A deep upper trough is swinging east from Colorado into the plains, while tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is surging northward. The collision of these two air masses, warm and humid from the south, cool and dry from the north, is the perfect setup for explosive thunderstorm development. By Friday evening, storms will begin firing across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, then expand rapidly eastward through Arkansas, Illinois, and Indiana on Saturday. As daytime heating increases, the atmosphere will destabilize sharply, producing tall, rotating thunderstorm towers, the kind capable of large hail, destructive wind gusts, and even tornadoes. The highest risk zone runs from the Ozarks through the Tennessee-Kentucky Valley, extending into northern Louisiana, Mississippi, and the lower Ohio Valley. Within this corridor, damaging wind gusts between 40 and 60 miles per hour, hail up to 2 inches in diameter, and isolated tornadoes are all possible. Late Saturday, storms will consolidate into a squall line sweeping toward the Great Lakes and parts of the Northeast, bringing heavy rainfall and widespread gusty winds overnight. By Sunday, the main energy will shift east, but residual storms may linger through parts of the southeast, bringing more wind and lightning. Even as instability weakens, strong upper-level winds could sustain damaging gusts, enough to knock down trees and cause scattered power outages. Heavy rainfall is another major concern. The Weather Prediction Center highlights a slight risk for flash flooding across Arkansas, southern Indiana, and parts of the Tennessee Valley, where 2 to 3 inches, 50 to 80 millimeters, of rain may fall in a short time. Urban and low-lying areas will be especially vulnerable. Thermometer: a major cold front to follow. Behind the storm system, a powerful Arctic front will surge southward, delivering the coldest air so far this fall. Starting Tuesday, temperatures across the central and southern United States are expected to plunge by 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, 15 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit, below seasonal norms. Daytime highs will drop into the 40s and 50s degree F, and nighttime lows could dip into the 30s in some northern states. Add in gusty north winds, and wind chills could make it feel like mid-30s degree F, 1 to 3 degrees Celsius, as far south as the Gulf Coast. Across the Rocky Mountains and northern plains, temperatures will plunge even further, 20s degree F, -6 to -2 degrees Celsius, at night, and potentially teens degree F at high elevations. Light snow is possible over portions of Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado, marking the first measurable snow of the season. The cold air mass will continue spreading southeastward through Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, before reaching the Carolinas later in the week. This is a significant event, the first widespread autumn chill that will be felt across nearly the entire continental U.S. Forecast models indicate this cold spell will peak around October 27 to 28. Before retreating, warmer conditions are likely to return as the jet stream lifts north again near the end of the month. Still, this early season cold front serves as a warning that winter's influence is approaching fast. Cyclone developing tropical wave in the Caribbean. While the U.S. contends with severe weather and cold air, the tropics are once again coming alive. the National Hurricane Center, NHC, is monitoring a tropical wave moving westward across the Atlantic, expected to enter the Caribbean early next week. As of now, it carries a 40% chance of development within 7 days, but that probability could increase to 70 to 80% as the wave moves into the central and western Caribbean, where sea surface temperatures are near 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and wind shear temporarily relaxes. The area most at risk includes Jamaica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, Cuba, and the Cayman Islands. Some forecast runs even hint that moisture and outer rain bands could brush southern Florida or the Bahamas, depending on how far north the system manages to drift. However, the same cold front bringing chilly air to the U.S. will also establish a strong high-pressure block across the western Atlantic, effectively shielding the Gulf of Mexico from tropical impacts. This means direct U.S. impacts appear unlikely for now, though heavy rain and gusty winds remain a concern for the Caribbean islands. Two primary scenarios are emerging among model guidance. GFS solution: the system gets suppressed southward into Central America, merging with the Central American gyre, bringing torrential rainfall but little structural organization due to strong wind shear and dry mid-level air. European solution: the wave strengthens modestly in the central Caribbean, then turns northeastward under the influence of the mid-latitude trough, potentially bringing showers to the Bahamas and South Florida before dissipating at sea. In either case, there is no credible indication of a tropical cyclone entering the Gulf. Still, residents across the Caribbean basin should stay vigilant, as small shifts in atmospheric flow could quickly alter the system's trajectory. Cloud with rain and flooding elsewhere. Beyond the main severe weather zone, widespread rain will also affect parts of the Northwest and Midwest over the next 5 days. In Oregon and Washington, expect 1 to 2 inches, 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall, extending into Idaho, Montana, and North Dakota. Across the central and eastern U.S., rainfall totals between 2 and 3 inches, 50 to 75 millimeters, are possible from Texas through Missouri and into the Great Lakes, compounding flood risks in saturated areas. By Saturday, flash flood guidance highlights a marginal to slight risk from Arkansas to southern Indiana, especially in regions with poor drainage. Motorists are urged to avoid driving through flooded roads, as rapidly rising water can occur overnight. Snowflake 10-day outlook and climate perspective. Looking ahead, after this cold blast retreats, temperatures are projected to rebound across most of the country heading into early November. However, frequent short-lived cold fronts from Canada will continue to disrupt the pattern, producing sharp temperature swings typical of a seasonal transition. Meteorologists note that the early arrival of this deep cold front is a strong signal that winter 2025-2026 may start colder than normal. Meanwhile, north of the border, Environment Canada has confirmed that summer 2025 ranked as the 11th hottest on record. Through advanced, event attribution modeling, scientists compared pre-industrial and modern climate simulations and found that 11 out of 17 major Canadian heat waves this year were significantly more likely due to human-induced climate change. The findings suggest that extreme heat events will continue to increase in both frequency and intensity, underscoring the need for cities and communities to strengthen climate resilience and emergency preparedness. Warning summary and recommendations. To summarize, the United States faces 3 simultaneous weather stories over the coming week. Severe storms late this week and weekend, bringing damaging winds, large hail, and possible tornadoes from the Ozarks through Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Ohio Valley. A powerful cold front next week, driving temperatures sharply lower across much of the central and southern U.S. A developing tropical wave in the Caribbean, threatening heavy rain and flooding in parts of Central America but unlikely to reach the Gulf of Mexico. Residents in at-risk regions should monitor local weather alerts closely, especially during the overnight hours of Saturday into Sunday. Avoid unnecessary travel during thunderstorms or high winds. Prepare warm clothing and ensure home heating systems are ready for the incoming chill. In the Caribbean, stay informed of flood warnings and tropical bulletins as the wave approaches. TV closing message. You're watching a special weather report from Weatherman Plus. If you found this update helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications so you never miss critical updates about severe weather, cold air outbreaks, and tropical developments. We'll continue tracking these systems around the clock and bring you new forecasts as soon as model data updates. Stay safe, stay warm, and remember, preparation is always the best defense against extreme weather. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next forecast update.